आज हम कूलम्स लॉ इन वेक्टर फॉर्म में पढ़ेंगे। सो टुडे इज़ कूलम्स लॉ इन वेक्टर फॉर्म। So Coulomb's law in vector form. Suppose we have two charges, one is q1 and another is q2. So these are the two charges and here it is origin O. So the position vector of these two this is charge q1 and this is charge q2. The position vector of q1 with respect to origin is r1 vector and that of it is r2 vector. So now we join this and write it as r21 vector. So from the triangle law of vector addition, r1 vector plus r21 vector is equal to r2 vector. So r21 vector is equal to r2 vector minus r1 vector. So this is r2 minus r1 vector. And if in this direction if we represent unit vector, so the unit vector in this direction is r21 unit vector. This is unit vector in this direction from q1 to q2. So as we know, the unit vector r21 that will be a vector divided by its magnitude. r21 vector divided by its magnitude. And so this is a unit vector from 1 to 2. The direction of this unit vector is from q1 to q2. Similarly, we will take unit vector r12. So this is the unit vector whose direction is from q2 to q1. And these two unit vectors are equal to each other. These two unit vectors are equal to each other, but in opposite direction. So we can write r21 unit vector is equal to minus r12 unit vector. Now let us try to write the direction of force. So q1 and q2, suppose both are here positive, so q1 will repel q2 and this force is F21. F21 is a force on 2 due to 1. This is the symbol F21. So when we write F21 is equal to force on 2 due to 1. So Ke, electrostatic constant, Q1, Q2 upon R square. So here the distance is R F21 whole square. So F21 is equal to KE Q1 Q2 upon R21 square, because it is a magnitude. When magnitude is multiplied by a unit vector, it becomes a vector. So in this direction, in the direction of F21, the unit vector is R21. The unit vector is R21 as indicated above. So F21 is equal to KE Q1 Q2 upon R square. Now if we will write F12, F12 is this force, F12, force on 1 due to 2, force on 1 due to 2, so it is F21. So F12, force on 1 due to 2, it is equal to electrostatic constant Q1 Q2 upon distance. Distance I am taking here R21, similar to the previous one because it is magnitude, into a unit vector in the direction of force F12, so it is R12. So these are the two forces, F21 and F12. So we can write KE Q1 Q2 upon R21 square into minus of R21 unit vector. इस यूनिट वेक्टर को चेंज कर दिया है, we have changed this unit vector. So from equation number 1 and from equation number 2, from these two equations, we have from equation 1 and 2, F21 is equal to minus F12. So these two forces are equal and opposite in direction. F21 is equal to minus F12. So this is the vector form. This is the vector form of Coulomb's law. How the force will be, how a charge can exert a force on another charge in terms of vector. So here KE is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, because charges are in free space. If there is a medium between the charges, then this KE will be is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon, or we can write 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught K. So this is Coulomb's law in vector form. Now force on a point charge due to multiple charges. The second thing is force on a point charge due to multiple charges. Principle, it is also called principle of superposition. So we can find the force on a point charge due to multiple charges, principle of superposition. So according to Coulomb's law, we can find charge between two charges. If there are only two charges, one charge exert a force on another charge. Suppose if there are number of charges and we want to find a force on a particular charge, then we use principle of superposition. So according to this principle of superposition, the force of interaction between two given point charges remain unaffected when the other point charges are placed near them, and accordingly the total force on a given point charge due to any number of point charges is the vector sum of the individual forces exerted on the given point charge by all other point charges. This is principle of superposition. Now let us try to understand. Suppose here is one charge q1, this is origin O, so it is the position vector of this point charge, suppose it is r1. Another charge is here and its position vector is r2, and third one is q3 whose position vector is r3. So these are the position vectors of the charges q1, here it is q1, it is q2, and this charge is q3, and we want to find the force on q1 due to q2 and q3. So we will find the force on q1 due to this q2 and q3. First, force due to q2. So we join this. Suppose the length of this is r12. Length is r12. And the unit vector in this direction is r12 unit vector. So the force, the direction of force along the line joining the charges. So this is the direction of force and this is F12. Now the force due to Q3. So join Q3. Suppose the length of this Q1 to Q3 is R13 and the unit vector in this direction is R13 unit vector. So direction of force will be along the line joining the charges. So this is the force. This is F13. So these are the two vectors. So the resultant will be found by using parallelogram law of vector addition. So in this direction, the net force on Q1 will be this F1. So F1 will be F1 F1 vector is equal to the vector sum of F13 and F12. So if there are more than two charges, we can find the force in the same manner. So the net force on the charge Q1 will be the vector sum of the forces exerted by other charges. Now let us try to write F13 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught F13, so it is Q1 Q3 upon R13 square into unit vector in this direction, and unit vector is this. Similarly, we can write 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 upon distance square. Distance is r12, so r12 square into unit vector in this direction, and the unit vector is r12. So this is the formula for finding the net force on a given charge due to other charges. If there are n charges, then the force on one will be the vector sum of the forces between 1 and 2, 1 and 3, and so on. The force between 1 and n. So the net force will be the vector sum of these forces. So writing in the same way, we can write 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 upon r12 square into a unit vector r12 plus 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q3 upon r13 square into a unit vector in this direction plus, and so on, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q1 qn upon r1n square into a unit vector in this direction. So in a summation form we can write this 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, that is electrostatic constant. q1 is common in all terms, so q1 is taken out. Now sigma, another charge is q2, it is q2 q3 and so on, like this. So here I am writing qi upon r 1, and here number is changing from 2, 3 and, so here will be n r1, here is I, and r1 is common, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1 and, so 1, this is changing 2, 3 n, so here we put I, and I varies from, the value of I varies from 2 to n. So this is in the summation form, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q1 summation qi r1i unit vector. So in this way we can find the net force on a point charge due to multiple charges. Now the next heading is force on a point charge. The third concept related to this, force on a point charge due to continuous charge distribution. Continuous charge distribution. Here charges are not discrete, but charges are continuous. So a continuous charge distribution means a continuous charge distribution is a system of charges lying at infinitesimally small distances from each other. So continuous charge distribution is a system of charges lying at infinitesimally small distances from each other. There are three types of continuous charge distribution. Continuous charge distribution. These are of three types. Number 1, linear charge distribution. Linear charge distribution, it is represented by lambda. So it is charge per unit length. Second is surface charge distribution. It is represented by sigma, charge per unit area. And third one is volume charge distribution. Volume charge distribution, it is represented by rho, charge per unit volume. So it is charge per unit length Q by L, charge per unit area, and it is charge per unit volume. So there are three types of continuous charge distribution. Now let us try to find the force on a point charge due to these continuous charge distribution. So first is linear charge distribution. Suppose here it is in conductor AB of length L, and here we consider a small element of length dl. The charge Q is distributed over this conductor of length L. Q charge is distributed, and we have to find the force on a charge Q naught situated at P at a distance R. At a distance R from the center of this element. Here is R unit vector in this direction. So due to this small element, because the element is small, so there is a small force. Suppose the force is dF. dF is the force due to this small element, and we have to find the force on point charge Q naught due to linear charge distribution. So we have here dq charge. Suppose the charge dq is on this element. On this element, the small charge dq we have considering here. So lambda is equal to dq by dl. dq charge is over the small element dl. So dq is equal to lambda dl. Now according to Coulomb's law, this df dF is equal to electrostatic constant Ke Q1 Q2. So Q1 Q2 will be here Q naught and dq. So these are Q1 Q2 upon r square, and here is the vector, so magnitude should be multiplied by unit vector in the direction of force. Now putting the value of dq, we get Ke Q naught lambda dl upon r square into r unit vector. So this is the small force due to element. Now the force due to whole conductor. If we want to find the force, so we will integrate. So the total force F will be integration over the entire length Ke Q naught lambda dl upon r square into r unit vector. Now taking the constant thing outside the integration sign, Ke Q naught integration over the entire length L lambda upon r square into r unit vector dl. So in this way we can find linear charge distribution, the force due to linear charge distribution. Now the second is surface charge distribution. Surface charge distribution. So here we are considering a surface S, and we have to find the force at a point P at which the charge Q naught is situated. So we consider a small element of the surface of area ds having charge dq. So the distance from the center point of this element is r. The distance is r, and the unit vector in this direction is r unit vector. So dq charge is distributed over the surface element ds. So according to the definition here, sigma, that is surface charge density, lambda is linear charge density and sigma is surface charge density. So dq over ds, this is surface charge density, surface charge density. So dq will be equal to sigma ds. So according to Coulomb, the force due to this element will be df. So df can be written as Ke Q naught into dq. dq is sigma ds. So these are the two charges, Q1 Q2 upon r square, and the unit vector in the direction of force. So the total force F due to this surface charge distribution will be the integration over the entire surface S, over this entire surface S will be the integration Ke Q naught sigma ds upon r square into r unit vector. So the constant things come outside the integration sign, Ke sigma integration over the entire surface S the sigma will be inside this. So we have KE Q naught, KE Q naught sigma upon R square into R unit vector into ds. So in this way we can find the force due to surface charge distribution. Now the third one volume charge distribution. Volume charge distribution. Suppose we have a conductor of volume B, a conductor of volume B, and we have to find the force due to this volume charge distribution at a point P at which charge Q naught is situated. So we consider a volume element of this surface of this conductor. Suppose the volume of this element is dV, over which the charge dq is there, and we have to find the force due to this element. Suppose the distance from its center point is r up to P, and r is a unit vector in this direction. So according to Coulomb, the force will be along the line. So this is dF. Now here we will consider a term rho. It is called, rho is called volume charge density. Volume charge density. So rho is equal to dq by dv. dq by dv. So dq will be equal to rho dv. Now according to Coulomb, the force F, because it is a small element, the force will be small dF is equal to an electrostatic constant Q naught into dq. dq is sigma dV upon r square into a unit vector in the direction of force. So the total force F will integrate over the volume, integration over the entire volume, KE Q naught rho dV upon r square into r unit vector. So taking constant thing outside, similarly as we have done in earlier cases, KE into Q naught integration over the entire volume B. So we have only this rho upon r square into r unit vector dB. So in this way we can find the force due to different charge distribution, linear charge distribution, surface charge distribution, and volume charge distribution. So these are the three things that we have discussed here: force due to different charge distribution. Thank you.